Good morning, everyone. It is,
Morning.
yeah. How are you, Sandra?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Thanks for coming in with us this morning. How are you, Anna?
Good. I'm having fun waving.
You look like a ray of sunshine.
Waving. I know.
Um,
I have this on because I just went for a little walk.
oh,
I'm gonna
good.
get a
You got
chill
some
in
fresh
my
air?
neck. Pardon?
So you were getting some fresh air.
I was. Yes.
Good.
Good.
And I am on my porch this morning, taking in the fresh air while we have our coffee talk. It is a little chilly, I'm not going to lie, but I'm happy to be able to be outdoors. I can see the sun, the sky is blue, and I just am like super pumped that it's going to be a nice day.
Tuesday, April
Mhm.
7th.
Woohoo!
And I know it because I'm following it on my calendar because these are the days. I need a calendar to keep track. And so we say it Tuesday,
Mhm.
April 7th.
Tuesday, April 7th. And so on this day in, a very long time ago, 1770, William Wordsworth was born, and he died in 1850. He was 80 years old. That was really old for way back then.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, people didn't live to be 80 in the 1700s and early 1800s.
Not generally. So maybe he was a healthy kind of guy.
He must have been a very healthy guy who lived a really healthy life.
Or just good genes.
Right. He was the second of 5 children, and he shared a close and lifelong bond with his only sister.
Oh.
He was a poet. Do we have any of his poetry?
I am ready to read some of his poetry for you.
Okay, so read us some of his poetry.
Okay, so this was one of the ones that he's known for. It's called She Dwelt Among the Untrodden Ways. She dwelt among the untrodden ways, beside the springs of Dove, a maid whom there were none to praise and very few to love. A violet by a mossy stone, half hidden from the eye, fair as a star when only one is shining in the sky. She lived unknown, and few could know when Lucy ceased to be. But she is in her grave, and oh, the difference to me.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, a lovely love poem with nature. Love to have someone write me. I wonder if Lucy was his sister.
Well, that's what I was thinking as you read it. I thought, was that about his sister that he was so close with? Does anyone know? Is anyone familiar with that poem?
And William Wordsworth. And it's such a nice reminder to our, for all of us, for our guests that are watching, about how love, it's not just for our partners, it's not just for our husbands or our wives, but that we can feel like this very strong bond with friends and sisters, with our children, with an aunt, and that we could write a poem for any of them.
Anna, speaking of other people that we love so much, I think you need to share with the guests. Yes.
Okay.
This has got to be shared.
Okay. This is really nice because I forgot to do it yesterday, guests. And for that, I apologize. So I'm going to do it now. And I'm going to screen share. Okay, guests. So this is a picture. Many of you know my daughter, Emma, although she's hard to recognize wearing the face mask. But there is she and her now husband, Joe, getting married over the weekend.
By the river.
By the river. And I'm wondering if I can find, I'm just going to back up. So here's a closer picture of the two of them.
Oh,
right? I love it.
Right. And so this was just a reminder that they got married in the time of social distancing. And there are pictures without these funny things, but for whatever reason, I couldn't download them successfully. Here they are.
Oh, there it is.
Oh my gosh. Yes. So, and everybody I think knows Lana too, who's visited the center so many times. And so while Emma and Joe got married in a very simple ceremony by Sawyer River, there was just a justice of the peace and a photographer, and we all kept distance. I was with Alana, the little girl there, throwing rocks in the in the river. She was so happy. So I could hear the ceremony and the ritual, like I could watch, but I was really keeping Alana busy throwing rocks in the river. So she,
I love this. This is so beautiful.
look how happy they are. This just happened.
They are so
Saturday.
happy.
Everybody, my daughter got married. There's one more picture I'll show everyone. Not show the picture of my mouth.
Oh, I love it.
Isn't that cute?
Mm-hmm. So sweet.
So sweet. So that,
Oh,
yes. Thank
yes.
you.
So thank you for sharing it with us.
Thank you for
Yes.
remembering so that we could share that today. It's really
I know our guests love Lonnie and Emma, and I thought they need to know that in this time that we are not able to do the normal things we're doing, they just got married and like committed themselves with their love, and how sweet that is. So
sweet. And they just told me about the day before. They asked me on a Friday, do you want to come? And I didn't know that you could still do that. But that's considered essential. They'd been engaged prior to all of this. And they knew they didn't want a big wedding. They just wanted to do a simple ceremony. And they thought, you know what, it's really smart to get these legal pieces in place now. Let's actually do this, so that without getting into the details, I'm sure a lot of you can understand why it might be nice to have the just knowing like, okay, legally we're married. It's clear what our relationships are.
yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy for Emma and Joe and Lonnie. Congratulations to that family. Woohoo! And I'm sure our guests are at home right now saying, oh, they're so excited too, and that brought them some joy. So thank you for sharing. So a quote by William was that the best portion of a good man's life, his little, nameless, unremembered acts of kindness and love.
Oh, I love that.
You know what? It is so true. Have you guys ever heard of, like, it's called a lollipop moment?
Someone
No.
was just saying this to me.
So a lollipop moment is when you have an impact on someone else's life and you don't even know about it. Like, to you, it was just like giving someone a lollipop. But to them, it was something that it's like this vivid memory in their life. And it was maybe even life changing. And you, as the person who gave that moment, aren't even aware that you had done such a thing. And that's essentially what he's saying, is that the little, nameless, unremembered acts of kindness and love, so the things that we naturally do in our life that we don't even take a second thought about, can really impact someone else's life. So realize that each one of us has done that at some point.
And this would be a great question to ask guests, and that maybe people can talk about at home, is if they can remember a time when someone had that impact on you, when someone did something for you, just kind of this nice, ordinary, generous act of kindness that had somehow like a profound impact. Can either of you remember something like that happening? Where someone else gave that to you?
Sorry, I decided to eat a little mini muffin that I had taken out of the freezer this morning, but I microwaved it before we came out. And you know how sometimes if you microwave bread items, they get like, well, they don't really want to break apart. They're like leather. So it's not very good. I was just trying to chew that up. So I have had, I can give you an example of a time when I went to see one of my high school teachers when I was pregnant with my first daughter. And I had been working as a nanny, and I wanted to start my own kind of nanny business here in the Valley for people who were on vacation, so that they could have a reliable person watching their children, so they could go out to eat or go skiing or do whatever it was. And he said to me, well, how is that going to work? And, you know, it was this big, long conversation. Needless to say, we got to talking, and I said, well, that's not really what I want to do anyway. And he said, well, I said, it's just something I can do. And he said, well, what do you really want to do? I said, well, I really want to be a teacher. He said, well, then why aren't you going to school to be a teacher? And I said, well, because I'm, you know, I've got this and that, and I'm having a baby. And he said, how many classes do you need, Julie, to get your bachelor's? And I said, I have 4 more classes. And he said, you have 4 classes? if you only have 4 classes, he goes, what you have right now is worth nothing. He said, you need to finish up and get your degree so that you can do something and have more options. And I left his classroom in tears because I thought he was the graphics teacher. I thought I was going to come away with them having work on designs for me to make brochures and do all this other stuff. To the next week, I was in a statistics class that I needed to take. And it just got me on that path. And I'm sure he knew that he impacted me because I left, but I think he probably thought I left mad because he wasn't telling me what I wanted to hear. He was telling me what I needed to do. But it did change my life. And I ended up by getting my degree within a year. I took those 4 classes that year. I hunkered down and I did it. And it opened up doors for me to have experiences that I wanted to have.
So the simple kindness of an old teacher, he didn't have to meet with you. You weren't you weren't the student still, and he took the time, and he was just real honest with you and kind and just believing in you, and that's the impact it had on you. Sandra, do you have a story like that you want to share?
I'm sitting here trying to think of one, and there's a million, probably, and I couldn't go to a specific one, but it would be my sister Lisa, who I could always go to, and she was my rock. You know, she was an amazing person, but she was, I could go to her and talk to her about anything and walk away feeling 100 times better than when I walked into her house. She had a natural way of turning your thoughts around to point you in the direction that you want to go, and you don't even know that's what you want until you're done talking to her. She was amazing. So I don't think she realized how much of an impact she had on my life.
And I'm thinking of like, and I'm not going to name someone specific, but I've had times in my life where I've felt kind of like lonely in a way, and just somebody talking with me, like just some random conversation in a store, like somebody being present, like where, when you can tell that people are actually talking to you rather than they're just talking to you as they're doing something else, but that where someone just like saying like, yeah, I know, it's crazy, isn't it? And you just feel seen. Like I've had that experience before in the larger community, and I can't name who these people are.
Right.
Just the power of their presence and just being very looking right at me and being present sort of reconnected me with like, this is what we're here for.
And Anna, recently you shared with me a story of you being that person for someone else when you were in a store and she was struggling with her child and you stopped. You may be in her memory forever. She may at some be like, there was this woman who I am so grateful for that she stopped and helped me and my baby.
Yeah. And isn't it nice to see how these things just naturally pay themselves forward, because I feel like people have done that for me.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. That's a nice quote of William Wordsworth to share.
It is. Thank you, William.
Yes.
So also on this day, the first friction match is sold in 1827. So when they say friction match, I'm assuming it's the match that you go and it combusts into like a little flame, right?
Yeah.
By English chemist John Walker. They were soon banned in France and Germany because burning fragments would sometimes fall to the floor and start fires. Oh, so they probably didn't stay on the stick, and a piece of it would fall to the floor, and people might not notice it had fallen to the floor, and then they'd have a fire.
Yeah.
Well, those were the beginning days of having a match.
Right. Wow, and what a huge development for society to be able to, so that you don't take so long to get a fire going anymore. Great.
Right?
Yeah, they use like flint before, like rub 2 pieces of flint to...
Or coals. Probably a lot of people were in the habit of just like keeping a fire lit, maybe.
Oh, all the time,
get the fire lit to start with.
Yeah.
Oh.
But isn't that true that a lot of what people did, because it did take so long, if you had to use flint or something, or rubbing
Yeah.
sticks together, was to say, well, let's just keep a fire going.
Yes. Right. All right, Sandra. You are up.
Ooh, well, on this date in 1933, King Kong is released in theaters. Wasn't that like a big deal at the time because of all the, special effects and stuff? Have you seen that movie, guys? King
I've seen
Kong, the
clips of it,
original?
but I've never seen the movie. No.
I haven't seen the original King Kong. I
Oh,
think
you
the King Kong
need
I saw
to.
was from like the 60s or the 70s.
I remember seeing it and feeling so bad for King Kong, and we were mean to take him away from his home.
Oh my gosh. So I'm just gonna real quick, because I think it might be fun for our guests to see these pictures of the original King Kong.
Yeah, there he is.
Look at that. Like that's so this was considered advanced.
Yeah, it was all, they were like clay figures or something, and they pose them, I think, is how they made him.
Okay.
And then I think there was a guy in a suit, too.
All right.
It's a little chilly outside.
Are you getting cold?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Oh,
always
look at this.
that.
Look
Yeah.
at this shot. This is pretty funny. Fay Ray isn't looking very well in this shot from 1933.
But you're such a doll.
Ah!
Oh, shoot.
Good one, Sandra. I was trying to see if I could make this a little bit bigger.
But I felt so bad.
Oh.
All right, so
Unquite love.
that was nice. A little trip down memory lane.
For sure. Sorry, you're all getting such a close up of me, but I am working my way back to my kitchen because I couldn't take the cold anymore.
So
Pretty chilly out.
that King Kong, it started in 1933, but they've made several different versions since then. So that was
Yeah.
the beginning of something. So did you want to say anything else about King Kong?
No, I don't.
nothing.
What?
I just felt so bad for him.
For King Kong?
Hmm.
Oh, that's an interesting.
Because we took him away from his home and took him to New York, and then he's just trying to survive.
Yeah.
He was a wild animal that was trying to live his life, and us rotten peoples.
Right.
Did they take him to New York to put him in a show or something?
I don't remember.
I don't either. I just know that I felt bad for him.
Oh, see, this is why we love Sandra. She's got such a big heart. She even feels bad for King Kong.
Right?
Yeah.
I know. I see what you're saying
We
now.
love you.
Yes. I just haven't seen the movie in so long. I can't remember anything about it. So, all right. Also in 1933, I don't know if people remember Prohibition. So I'll just let that drop for a second so that people can talk about what is Prohibition. And I'm guessing that guests and all of you watching remember that was making it illegal to purchase, make, and drink alcohol in the United States. And back in 1933, they repealed the prohibition on beer as long as it didn't have more than 3.2% alcohol. So I guess that's when the rules started lightening up a little bit. I guess moonshine was still under the rules of prohibition, but beer.
Didn't they make like bathtub gin?
Yeah.
What was bathtub gin, and how'd you make it? Anybody know?
Gosh, what is gin made out of? What like vodka's made out of potatoes?
I don't know. Should I Google?
I think you should Google, find out what gin was made out of. Beer's made out of hops. Barley makes whiskey, right?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I know just a few of these, but I have no idea.
I know grapes make wine.
Yes. Gin has such an odd taste. I do not like gin. I know some
like
people
any
like
of it.
gin, but I'm like,
Uh-uh.
"Ugh." So I'm curious now what it's made from.
It is made from distilled gin, ethanol, water and ethanol.
Sugar?
Juniper berries.
Juniper berries. That I've heard of that. Yes.
Okay. That would explain its unique, distinct taste.
So it's nasty.
Yeah.
My opinion.
Yeah, mine too. And some of you may be gin and tonic fans. My grandparents would drink gin and tonics. Some people like them. I'm not one of them.
No, me neither. So we're going to jump from 1933 to 1962, and I think many of you will remember this song. I recognized it was like, oh, this is such a sweet song. So here we go. It is called Johnny Angel by Shelley.
I'm going to get up and stretch.
All right.
No, it's broken up. Terrible.
Yeah. Okay, everybody, we're learning together. This is I'm wondering, ladies, if moving forward, if rather than play it through a speaker, if we played it from our computer. So if we queued up our computer and play the music directly from there, it might work, it might not. Like we had trouble with the Susan Boyle song coming through. Part of it is Zoom. So that's just a fact. But maybe what we could do is try when we come up to the next song, we could try the next song through the computer.
Correct. I think that's a great idea. And I'm going to work on that.
And we'll just see, because honestly, we don't know. We're all learning together. Isn't that refreshing? The pressure,
Yes.
the pressure's off. So let's see. We have in 1970 were the 42nd Academy Awards, and we talk about this regularly during Coffee Talk because it's a way to revisit old movies and old actors. And apparently on this day, back in 1970, John Wayne won Best Actor for True Grit. And here's another movie that's had a life because True Grit was redone recently. So there he is, John Wayne, in different moments. Oh, this is a nice picture of him right there. What a career he had.
Mm-hmm.
He had such a long career.
He was the original like tough guy, right? The tough guy cowboy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love John Wayne.
Oh my gosh, I picked this picture here on the right and I think it's a wax statue.
I think it is too.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, so there is John Wayne. He won his Best Actor for True Grit, and that the Best Picture was awarded to Midnight Cowboy. Have any of you seen Midnight Cowboy?
No.
I have. I can't remember. I think it. Midnight Cowboy.
Some people watch. They have channels now that just play like old westerns. So I'm guessing that people have seen Midnight Cowboy.
Yeah.
I bet you're right.
I just don't watch old westerns. Like my idea of old western is Clint Eastwood westerns from like the 70s. So I'm not a very good source of information.
Well, speaking of the 70s,
yes.
The #1 hit on this day was A Horse with No Name by America. I've logged into my Spotify account on the computer. We're going to try to play it through the computer. I don't even know this song. Maybe I'll recognize it. But let's see if this works any better. Oh, I know this song.
Yes.
And
I'm
can
not
you
hearing
ladies hear it?
I don't hear anything.
You don't hear
No.
anything?
So I wonder if it can only hear through me.
I don't know.
So let's see if we can do
Well, while Anna's doing that, let's all take a sip of our drink.
Cheers.
Writing's not that easy, but Grammarly can help.
we don't care. Did you hear the commercial?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you hear that?
Yes, but it's very soft.
Okay, good.
Looking all of life. There were plants and birds and rocks and things. There was sand and hills and rain. The first thing I met was a fly with a buzz and the sky with no clouds. The heat was hot and the ground was dry, but the air was full of sound. I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the rain. In the desert, you can't remember your name, because there ain't no one for to give you no pain.
Thank you, Anna.
That worked better?
Yes, we could hear it.
Oh, okay, let me turn this off completely. Okay.
Do we know what that is about? What's the,
It's going through the desert on a horse with no name.
Yes. The long,
oh,
lonesome trail.
If
Sandra.
there is a deeper meaning, maybe one of our guests can tell us about that.
yeah.
So, Sandra,
Uh,
what happened
yeah.
today in 1969?
Oh, hold on. I found horse with no name. And it's a long, drawn out thing, and I'm not going there. Okay, going back to the. It looked like it was a book. Okay. They couldn't just give me a simple explanation. The internet was born on this day in 1969. Wow, it's been around since 69.
That's incredible.
And
I remember in the 90s them calling it the information highway. Remember that? The little girl did the commercial.
I was just thinking, I wonder how many of our guests actually have used the internet much. Because I know my father-in-law, who is 91, retired from the bank. He'd been the treasurer of the bank for a long time, and he retired when they were basically making everything go online, because that was not something he wanted to try to learn. So he retired in around 58, 59, somewhere in that range, because he'd had enough of working, and thought at that stage he didn't want to learn all the ins and outs of using a computer, and it just kind of was a little overwhelming for him. So I'm curious how many people of our guests have used the internet much. I mean, right now I'm thankful we have it, because if we didn't, we would not be in your kitchen right now with you.
Yeah. And I know at least one guest that doesn't have it, and they're missing out on all of this, which is really sad, because they don't have. I asked if maybe their phone was smart, and he says, "I think it's pretty stupid." So no, they don't. They have no way of joining us, which is really.
This is a major transformation, because I mean, right now they're looking at internet access now as a basic utility. So like if we went back in time and we thought about electricity coming, that there was a lag, because there was plenty of time where people lived just fine without electricity.
Right.
They knew how to light candles. They knew how to do their chores during the day. Like they had kerosene lamps. So as electricity came through, it doesn't happen overnight. And so I can see that people's quality of life can be perfectly fine without the internet. I mean, we miss their presence because we don't get to see them, but that's certainly been a huge, it's just like the Industrial Revolution changed everything. We have lived through the informational revolution, and we're all at different points in terms of our familiarity with it. So good question, Julianne.
Thank you. Do we want to listen to one more song?
Well,
Do you know this song?
Yeah, let's give it a go.
Okay. So this song was the #1 hit in 1975, and it's Minnie Riperton.
Yes.
Never heard of her. And the song is called Lovin' You. So let's cue it up, Anna.
So you're going to hear 3 minutes of 3 seconds of a commercial.
Okay.
Are important. But if you want to write essays that inspire,
Here we go. Ooh. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna share the screen because it's so funny.
Please do. Oh.
Oh,
Loving you is easy 'cause you're beautiful.
oh,
Making love with you is all I wanna do. Loving you is more than just a dream come true. And everything that I do is out of loving you. La 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 la. Do 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 do.
All right.
okay, wait.
I
The
remember that
birds.
song.
I remember that song. I do not remember the birds being in the song though.
And that huge bird cage, that is pretty funny.
Was that like baby's breath she had stuck on the
I
side
think
of
it
her head? Or
was baby's breath in her hair. Oh, the good
here, you
old
need
Sadie.
something on your head.
I'm so glad that we played that. I do remember that song.
So, Sandra, do you want to do the rhyming riddles?
Rhyming
Figure these
riddles.
out?
All answers rhyme with rain.
Okay, everything
You
rhymes
think-
with rain.
With rain, R-A-I-N.
Okay.
You think with this.
It rhymes with rain. Say it again, Sandra.
You think with this.
Vanessa
what-
just came in. She thinks she knows the answer.
Give it to us, Vanessa.
Come on over in the picture.
Your brain.
Say it louder.
Oh, I bet you're
It's
right.
rain.
Rain.
Thank you, Vanessa.
Okay, group of retail chains.
So that means like a group of stores like McDonald's or Walgreens. They're called a blank of stores. It rhymes with rain.
Didn't the answer come in the description?
That's what I thought. Group of retail chains.
A group of retail chains would be a chain. Okay.
All right,
Well,
so
Well,
that
now
one was
we all make
Ames.
mistakes.
Ames was
Good.
retails.
Ames.
Yeah. So I think it's supposed to
That's
be
what I thought of.
retail stores.
I think so. I think.
Well, in our book, in the back, it gives you all these answers, at the end of each month.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
we'll have to look it up.
Yes.
A muscle injury.
That rhymes with rain. A muscle injury. We're just giving everyone at home a second. What do you call a muscle injury? It rhymes with rain.
I'll give you a hint. A lot of times it's ankles. I think.
Vanessa, do you have a guess for this one?
Brain.
She said strain. I'm thinking with a P. Sprain.
Oh,
I bet it's a sprain.
I think it's sprain. And I did just go look in the book, and it was chain.
Yeah.
So they gave us the answer.
Retail chains. That's a chain.
We all
So
make mistakes.
That's all right.
Yeah.
So on a funny note, I relish the fact that you've mustered the strength to catch up to me. I love it. So have a little mustard and ketchup on that burger today. I hope you all enjoyed this coffee time, coffee talk, and thank you for joining us. And I'm happy Sandra was able to be a part of this today. So great to see your smiling face.
And thank you so much, because we really appreciate, we know we're talking with you, even though we're not all in the same room. So thank you for watching and for being with us.
Yeah. Have a great day, everyone.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.